Okay, get ready for this one. Imagine you fall into a deep, deep coma in 1921. But when you wake up, it's not a few weeks later. It's almost 2,000 years in the future. Now, this sounds like pure science fiction, I know, but it is the absolutely incredible and very mysterious story of a man named Paul Amadeus Dienach. And his personal journals, well, they just might be a message for all of us.
And this line. This is where it all begins. Dienach claimed that while his physical body was just lying there, completely unresponsive, his mind, his awareness, traveled through time. He says he actually inhabited the body of another man in the year 3906. So what on earth did he see? And, maybe more importantly, what kind of message did he bring back for us?
So to really wrap our heads around this, we have to start with the journey itself. It's 1921, and Dienach, who is a Swiss-Austrian teacher, gets sick with something they called sleeping sickness back then, and he falls into this year-long coma. But what happened during that year is what makes his story so absolutely compelling.
You see, his consciousness didn't just land in some random future. Not at all. It's like he was given a map of history from the people he met there. He learned all about this catastrophic period they called the Great Collapse, which kicked off in the 2300s. That was followed centuries later by this amazing spiritual renaissance known as the Nebula Epoch. In his own experience, that happens way at the end of this incredible timeline, in 3906.
Now, this question, which was actually posed by the brilliant psychologist Carl Jung, really gets to the heart of the whole mystery. Was Dienach's journey a literal trip through time? Or was it a profound psychic awakening, an exploration of humanity's collective soul? The thing is, the chronicle he left behind is so incredibly detailed, it really makes you wonder if that line between the two even matters.
So let's talk about the world he actually saw. After centuries and centuries of chaos, humanity in the year 3906 had built a totally new kind of civilization. One that he described as, well, luminous, global, and completely centered on the growth of the soul.
I mean, just try to imagine how different this world was. There were no countries, no money. No one had a permanent, lifelong career. Instead, people served their communities for just a couple of years and then spent the rest of their lives on their own inner development, on art, on learning. Status was totally replaced by service, and that need to consume things was replaced by a deep thirst for knowledge.
This quote right here, from Georgios Papachasis, he was the student Dienach actually entrusted his journals to. This is so crucial. The future wasn't some impossible, perfect fantasy land. No, it was a world that had simply remembered what was sane, what was balanced, and what was truly important for a human life to really, truly flourish.
But how did humanity even get there? Well, this is where the story takes a really dramatic turn. This peaceful, enlightened future was literally forged in the fire of a global crisis that lasted for centuries and brought our entire way of life crashing down. The contrast is just stark. The people of the future, they looked back at our time, what was ancient history to them, as an age defined by illusion, this frantic need to control everything and everyone, and a deep, deep spiritual fragmentation. The new age they built was founded on the complete opposite of that: authenticity, service, and a sense of wholeness.
But here's what's so powerful about their perspective. These future beings, they didn't judge our era as evil. They saw our civilization's collapses, well, inevitable. The result of rampant overpopulation, destroying the environment, unchecked nationalism. It was a tragic but necessary catalyst for growth. The painful consequence of a species that was just unwilling to evolve until it had absolutely no other choice.
And that evolution, well, it leads us to the most incredible part of Dienach's entire vision: the emergence of a completely new kind of human being. They actually called this new species Homo occidentalis novus. But this wasn't an evolution in the way we think of it. It wasn't about biology changing, it was a quantum leap in consciousness, a psychic and spiritual maturation of the entire human race. So, what does that actually mean in practice? Well, think about all the things they transcended. That constant inner conflict that so many of us deal with every day, gone. The deep-seated fears and shames that hold us back, gone. They even moved beyond the limits of language, communicating with a kind of clarity and depth we can barely imagine. And they were finally free from all the ancestral trauma we carry around. I just find this description absolutely beautiful. It gives you such a clear sense of their emotional state. The kind of grinding sadness of our age was just not a part of their inner world.
They experienced this profound sense of joy and clarity, a state of being that was both incredibly sensitive and unbelievably resilient.
So here it is, the crucial point. What does this huge cosmic vision mean for us, right here, right now? Because it's not just a cool story about the future, it's a direct message for our present.
And the message is profoundly practical. It calls for radical self-observation, like the mystic G.I. Gurdjieff taught, to just witness our own mechanical patterns so they don't control us anymore. It calls for conscious choice in every single moment, and above all, it calls for presence. The future isn't built out there somewhere, it's born inside us, right here in the now.
This quote just captures the essence of Dienach's message perfectly. The work isn't about some grand external project. The real responsibility, the true path to creating that better future, is to do the inner work. It's about becoming the change we want to see in the world, literally.
And what that means is that none of us are just passive observers waiting for history to happen to us. The message here is that every single thought we have, every choice we make, it contributes to the very foundation of the world that's coming. We are not spectators, we are originators.
And really, this is the final, most powerful takeaway. Dienach's journey wasn't just a travelogue from the future. It was an invitation to stop searching outside ourselves for salvation or for some utopia, and to realize that the seed of that new, more conscious humanity, it's already inside of us, right now, just waiting to be discovered and lived.